Welcome back to DC Silver Age Storytime, and today's story is from Superman 129, published in May 1959, with story by Bill Finger and art by Wayne Boring, and the story is called The Girl in Superman's Past, and it is an untold tale of Superman. Everyone believes that Lois Lane is and always was Superman's secret love, and that Superman can't marry Lois because his crime-fighting career might endanger his future wife. But did you know that long ago the Man of Steel was ready to forsake his Superman career in order to gain the love of a beautiful and mysterious girl? Who this girl was and what happened to her, you will learn in the unexpected story of the girl in Superman's past. So we go back to, Clark Kent is thinking back to his past in college, where he looks pretty much just like he does nowadays, or as an adult. He sees a girl in a wheelchair rolling down a hill, and so he uses his X-ray vision to melt her tires to stop the wheelchair, but then it kind of catapults her out, and he catches her. "Thank you. You see, I can't walk. It is a problem, but I decided not to let it prevent me from leaving my native country to enter your college." So he does detect a bit of an accent. Later on, he's at their aquarium, the College Ark, a floating aquarium anchored near the seashore, when a boiler explodes and the floating aquarium is nearly split in two. So Clark Kent changes to Superman, and he's out kind of rounding up all the sea life when he spots a kind of a odd-looking octopus has grabbed up Lori, and he can see that she appears to be, it looks like she's talking to the octopus, and the octopus darts off. "You're lucky you weren't hurt. I'm still wondering why the octopus left so suddenly." "Well, Superman, he probably saw you streaking near and was frightened away." Okay, so he's really kind of taken with Lori. I'm not sure, has she said her name yet? Her name is Lori Lemaris. But he's imagining that he could take her to another planet in a bubble, carve her face into Mount Everest, or carry an orchestra to play for her. So he's quite taken with her. "Clark, I'm afraid our date later will be our last one. I must return to my parents tonight." "Lori, you're going away? Oh no." So he's upset, and he thinks there's only one way I can marry Lori. So he wants to marry her and be sure she'll never be endangered. I must tell her my secret identity, then give up my Superman career and remain only in my Clark Kent identity. So he's prepared to give up his career as Superman. That night he is, that night, as part of my fraternity initiation, I was restricted to my quarters with other students. Okay, well, that's highly inconvenient. So what he does is he sucks the smoke out of their fireplace, and everyone starts choking, and then he takes that opportunity to leave. I don't know why Bill Finger had to go to all that effort to just have him leave. So he meets with Lori, and he says, "Lori, I love you. Will you marry me?" And then he's about to confess that he's Superman, but she already knows. That's not. But how did you know? That's not important. What is important, though, is that although I love you, I can never marry you. And she continues to tell him that she has to leave. And every night she has to be home by, or at least where she's living, by 8, which she's living in a trailer off campus. And she says, oh, well, he's spying on her because he's trying to figure out what's going on. Lori reporting, "I leave for home tonight. My mission in America is complete." So he's thinking, well, is she a spy? But he loves her, so. But he loves his country even more. So he sneaks in and finds there's no bed, but there is a tank of salt water. And he says, there's only one possibility. And in the fantasy world of Superman, this possibility turns out to be true. So you've guessed the truth about me, haven't you, Superman? Yes, but how? Suddenly a dam breaks, and she insists to be brought along to help out, and so he carries her in her wheelchairs. In her wheelchair. I suppose it would have seemed crazy to anyone else. After all, what could a paralyzed girl do to help me on a mission requiring superpowers? But it turns out she is a mermaid. Of course, that's why she can't walk. So she assists in the rescue, helping people out. Now that the rescue work is finished, I can repair the dam and restore things to normal here. So he explains how he figured out that she's a mermaid. And then she kind of discusses the origin of her people. They're from Atlantis. And she talks about how Atlantis sunk into the ocean. Do not lose heart. Atlantis has sunk, but Atlantis is not dead. The dome shall keep out the sea. But later on, apparently, the scientists came up with a way to make them so they could live underwater. They converted them into mermen and mermaids. And you can kind of see they have scales. And presumably tails, like her. But once every 100 years, one of us is chosen to return to the upper world to learn of the surface people's progress. This time I was chosen, and though I love you, I must now return to my people. Yes, Lori, I understand. I'll carry you to sea now. And they kiss. And later I stood on the cliff, alone, looking for the last time at the only woman I'd ever asked to marry me. So we go back to the present time. Clark, you were staring at me in the strangest way. Whatever were you thinking about? I was thinking about a friend of mine and why he never married. That reminds me of Superman. I suppose he'll never ask me to marry him because it would mean giving up his Superman career. I guess he'd never do that for any woman. Lois will never know that Superman almost did once. So that's the first appearance of Lori Lemaris, but it is not the last appearance. I think she probably appeared occasionally outside of the Silver Age, but that was generally when she was used. So that is Lori Lemaris in the Girl in Superman's Past.